When it was brought to my attention that there was a plan in place to go to a 4-day week, was excitement and enthusiasm.
Bourbon County Schools Superintendent Dr. Larry Begley says the main problem was a teacher shortage, something that isn't unique to just their school district.
The best thing that I can do as superintendent is be a resource for people to provide quality teachers in every classroom.
The solution was spearheaded by their high school principal, Morgan Atkins. Their proposal was a hybrid learning method, 4 days of instruction in person and 1 day online.
We sent it off to KDE for approval, mainly to figure out we didn't want to affect our SEEK funding for attendance or our food services funding. So we wanted to get guidance and clearance from KDE on how do we do this blended learning plan, yet not jeopardize any kind of funding we would get for those services for our kids.
The Department of Education did not approve their proposal. Instead, KDE said they'll have to apply for their Districts of Innovation program, which allows school districts to redesign student learning. If approved, their hope is to implement the plan at their high school next school year.
Really, we just have some more time just to really think through the plan with a fine-tooth comb and just make sure that the plan is ready to roll out, because we are going to be the first school in the state to do something like this.
In Bourbon County, Julia Sandor, WKYT.